Hi, and welcome to Season 8 of the 15-ish Minute Coffee Chat with Anna Larson and Selena Conmack. Together with their rotating panel of expert guests, these real-life boss babes share lessons learned and best practices you can use to level up your business. Anna is the owner of Nomadabout and is known for blending killer copy with proven marketing methods to create exciting business communications. Selena owns Howley Socially Inspired, and from layout to launch, her sleek website design and trending social media strategies provide a memorable customer experience with a taste of that famous aloha spirit. Now it's time to laugh and be inspired, so grab a cup of coffee and enjoy the show.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Creating content in any form makes you a content creator. Our guest today, Laura Nsang, content marketing coach, shares her 4 key lessons to creating content on any platform. So today, let's talk about how you can create an impact with your content on the 15-ish minute coffee chat.
Hey, Anna. Good morning. Happy Tuesday.
Yes, happy Tuesday. So glad to be here today and really excited about our guest today also.
Yes, I'm gonna share this. Anna has been like stalking Laura on LinkedIn and she's loved her content. And so we were really like so excited that Laura said yes to come join us today. And so yeah, she's kind of a rock star on LinkedIn. I can't wait to kind of like dive into some of these questions we have for her so she can share them with anybody that wants to watch today.
Yeah, as 2 people who are content creators, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice to find somebody that you can admire and kind of follow and share best practices with and still learn from, right?
Yeah.
Where you don't feel like, I already knew that. I already knew that. This gives such good reminders to me about content creation, content marketing, all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah.
So we're super excited to have you here today. And drop in where you're joining us from.
Yeah,
so
we want to know.
Live watching. We'd love to kind of hear from you and be able to say hi. This is super interactive. We like to throw your questions up on the screen and answer them real time. So please feel free to, message us.
We're from Fort Hood, Texas, Anna and I. So we want to know, where are you watching from? All right.
That's right.
So here's our call to action question that we love to throw out. Anna, what do we want to ask everybody to tell us today in the comments?
Well, we want to know, do you consider yourself a content creator? Now, in the intro, I said, if you're creating any kind of content, you are a content creator. And most people don't think of themselves that way, though. They might say, oh, no, I'm a lawyer, or I'm a salesperson, or I'm a, this or that. I'm a home interior decorator. But if you're creating content and sharing it on social platforms, you are a content creator. Yeah.
I know. I'm excited. Hey, Michael. Thanks for Virginia.
I know.
Cheers to you. I hope you're on your maybe 3rd cup of coffee, right? Hi, Heidi.
You got a couple of people from Virginia.
I know. That's excellent. Okay. So I'm going to bring up Laura's bio and we're going to I want to just talk about how this is the funny part, guys. And I'm sorry when we do the show, Anna she sees me go through different, where are we at? Okay, ready? And I did it right on the first try. I brought up her bio. Okay, this is Laura. Laura Nsang, content marketing coach, is originally from Cameroon and now lives in Oklahoma City, right above us here in Texas. As a content marketing coach, Laura helps other coaches and content creators show up consistently and create relevant and highly converting content that leaves an impact and generates inbound leads without the overwhelm. My favorite word in here is impact.
Yeah.
I think this is the most what I'm excited to talk about with Laura today. So without further ado, let's bring in Laura, right, Anna? Good morning, Laura.
Hi.
Well, welcome to the show. I hope we didn't embarrass you too much and fawn over you because you're absolutely wonderful. So we're excited.
Yeah, I was embarrassed, but thank you.
So, okay, before we dive in, let's just do our coffee cup selfie so we can kind of just ask you all the questions, but we're going to do an on 3, 1, 2, 3. Yay. Okay. Awesome. Okay. Welcome to the show, Laura. We are super excited. And I want to tell you, we were talking about this. We were talking about names, right? And this is not even in our show notes but just, we had this conversation. So, okay, I'm from Hawaii. Laura's from Cameroon, right? And we were just talking about names. And I said to her, hey, I want to make sure when I see your name, is it Nsang? And so we were discussing, my Hawaiian name is Nohea Valeoe e Kuipo. She was so kind. She goes, well, no, you know, in America, they say it with the N, but it's sang. Like, it's the N is so silent and it's almost not there.
No, the
Right?
N is not silent. The N
it's just
it's Nsang. But
Nsang,
Americans don't hardly say the N because
Right.
for some reason it's hard for them. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Just say without the N.
You've accommodated our inability to get that.
Yes,
down.
I realize that, and it's normal. That I like your name right now. I'm like, okay, I'll have to learn it for a while.
Right.
So,
I've known her for 4 years and I still don't have it down. So
no. So back home in Hawaii, my mom's side of the family, I'm known as Nohea. So 5 letters of the long Hawaiian name. So that's all you need to really remember, you know. So okay, let's dive into the questions, Anna. Let's do this. Yay.
So no, I want to start before we start asking the questions. I want everyone to know that we are taking our questions from Laura's article, an article that she wrote on LinkedIn. And I'm going to drop that link in the comments. So as we are going along, if you want to go to that link and follow it and see what's there with us, you're more than welcome to. But we're going to be referring to that. Here, I just dropped it right now. I'll just pop it up there. I just dropped it in right now so you kind of know where we're coming from when we're asking these questions, because all the answers are in that link. Even though she's going to talk about it here live with us, you can also get the answers in that.
It's so different when you get to have the live factor from the author themselves.
Yeah.
So you guys, this is your chance to even ask and have like a real-time response to the article. Anyway, okay, go ahead, Anna. Let's shoot away with our first question.
So our first question is, you talk about consistency being important in content creation. Can you tell us why consistency is so important?
My goodness, it's like, yeah, consistency is so important with when you're creating content, when you are a business person, a content marketer, and not even just in creating content, right? In life, if you really want to excel at something, you really have to be consistent with that. But with regards to content marketing, once you are consistently putting out content, it's easier for you to really master your messaging, to understand better how to articulate your message and your expertise way easily to your audience, right? And then you become better at creating content, because the more you write, the better you get. And I know this for a fact because personally, I was a horrible writer. So once I put out content and I see how people react, I'm just the feeling of it. Sometimes I sit and I'm like, oh my goodness, like how far I've come. And it's because I consistently put out content. I started writing content when I was horrible at writing, right? I was really horrible. I did not know how to really put, writing is such a skill that you need to know how to form words in a way that really appeals to the people that you're talking to. But that's something that I was horrible at. And I'll always call my sister, ask her to help me, maybe proofread anything that I write. When it comes to anything formal, by the way, I'll tell her, you know what, please just write it for me, and then I'll read it and I'm going to send it.
Because I have a sister too, Laura. I do too.
She's a writer in the family. So I knew I cannot go to my sister every day to write a content piece for me for my business. I mean, she has her own things to do. I cannot do that. Right. So I'm like, okay, I need to really learn this thing. I need to learn how to write. I need to learn how to articulate my thoughts, because that was something that was so hard, even to talk like this in front of people. Like, it was so hard. I was so embarrassed about it. Like, it was just the worst thing. But once you make that decision to start putting yourself out there, to start writing, to start doing lives, to start creating content, the more consistent you are, the better you get at it. You get better at writing, you get better at really organizing your messaging, at articulating your expertise to the people that you want to leave an impact with. You get better at understanding your audience because they give you feedback, right? You have a better opportunity to really analyze your results because you have real data that you're working with. You've done so much. You have a lot of data that you can analyze from that data, right? So there is no downside to being consistent. it's so important. You have that opportunity to meet people like this, to collaborate with people. Because if I wasn't consistent and putting out content all the time, Anna wouldn't have met me, right? And because she's been seeing my content, here I am. So it's like it's you have to be consistent just to get better at what you do, just to equally show your audience that you care about them, right? So you continue putting out content because you care about them. If you really do care and you really want to leave an impact, you will show up. That's just the truth. That's just a fact. You will show up because there's something burning in you that you really want to leave out there. You want to help people, so you continuously show up because you think about your audience and like, okay, this is really going to help them. I really want to talk about this, and you show up consistently.
Laura, just my favorite thing in what you just said there, right? And it's so true in anything we do in life, right? The more you do it, the more you practice it, the more you master the message. Like, that's I mean, because that is the truth. Like, yeah, I mean, the more you do it, that was like I just needed to tell you, that was like my favorite
absolutely.
Part. Such truth there.
I think what resonated most with me was, I put this quote down here. This is, after you talk about consistency, this is the first line in your newsletter. Right. The more you do something, the better you get at it. It's just that simple. So if you want to be great at something, you have to just keep, right? It's practice makes perfect kind of
idea.
But and more than that, though, you talked about you become more efficient. You get opportunities like this. Like you said, if you hadn't put out consistent content, who knows if I ever would have seen you on LinkedIn or not, right?
Yeah.
So there's so many benefits to that consistency. And this is where I really think most people struggle, right? They'll do it really good for a month and then they're like, oh, I'm exhausted. This is the one thing I can let go of right now, right?
Right.
I mean, I'm guilty of that for myself. I do it so much for other people that for my own business, I'm like,
that is normal. That happens a lot. Yeah. That happens. And it's hard. I'm not saying it's not hard. It's hard, but it's about discipline. Right. It's about discipline, about you making that decision and discipline, trying to discipline yourself to do it, and try like small steps, taking small steps. If you just want to go full blow, like just go in, I'm like, oh, I'm going to post every day, or I'm going to just do this every day. No, but just small steps, maybe 2 times a week. And then you go from there. And you, once you really get your flow, then you start increasing it and start showing up consistently some more. And the more consistent, just this one thing that I want to talk about with regards to consistency, because also once you're putting out content consistently, like I said, you understand your messaging and you're able to communicate and articulate your message better, and you're able to equally put out more relevant content. Because it's not only also about just showing up consistently, but you want to show up relevant content to your audience that you are serving, right? So if you put out content consistently and you get that feedback, you start really understanding what is more relevant to them, what they love, what they really love to learn about, what is it that they connect with better, and you continuously put out that content, that relevant content to this particular audience that you are serving. So like consistency all around is just so important.
Yeah.
Yes. 100%. Yes to all of that, Laura. Like, oh my goodness.
Those are like great words of wisdom to start your day off with, right? Like now I'm like, I'm ready to create something.
Right. And
make something happen today.
Right. And I want to reiterate, like Laura says, right? Like it doesn't mean do it every day. Consistency doesn't equal every day. Consistency is decide what is for you. So is it two times a week? Okay, then show up those 2 times a week every week, you know, until you can feel right. Be realistic, right, Laura? Like,
exactly.
Burnout is real.
It is real.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I love that answer. Let's move on to our second question we have for Laura.
Yeah. So when you talk about content creation strategies, Laura, one of the words you use a lot is impact driven. And I want to ask you about that word. So can you tell us, what do you mean by impact driven when you talk about content creation strategies?
All right. Yeah. So I love talking about impact, because once I really changed my mindset to be more impact driven, like my business blew everything. Like it was really different, even from the way I felt, the way I my mindset, how people reacted to my content and all of that. So with regards to impact, I 100% believe that we all have, we all have, we all unique. We all have a message to share. There's something, we all have unique gifts, right? And you need to really believe in the impact that you have, the uniqueness that you have, and your own ability to give impact, right? To help people, to teach people something, to help people with something that really comes easily to you but really doesn't come easily to someone else. I believe 100% that we all have unique gifts and unique abilities that we can share with the world to complement each other, right? Because something might be so easy for me, however it's not easy for another person. Or for me, I was able to learn this whole marketing, this writing, this content creation journey. I've been able to really learn that, and I understand how hard it is, especially for other people, because I know how hard that was for me. So I believe, oh my goodness, I want so many people to learn this, to know how to do this, because it's so liberating. You feel like you can, like me talking here right now, I feel like I can get into any room and say whatever I want to say, because I have built that confidence and I can articulate my thoughts way better now and tell people what I want, present my message. Okay, even if you want a higher paid job, or where you're working, but you're not a business person, but you want a higher paid job, but you're scared of talking, you're scared of really approaching people, but putting out content, it might seem really strange and random, yes, but putting out content, writing, talking, is something that is really going to build your confidence to get into a room and tell them, this is what I want. I believe that I have been able to add value to this company, like this, like this, like this. So I believe that I actually deserve a raise, right? Because you've been able to put yourself out there. You've been able to kind of practice how to be outgoing, right? So even if you do that, once you do that, you will feel like, oh my goodness, I really want to help people be able to go and ask for your value, to go out there and talk about what they're worth, to go out there and be able to go to management, as ask for a raise and stuff like that. So I believe that everybody has gone through stuff. Everybody has a unique ability that's God given, or what whatever it is you believe, right? But I believe that we all have unique abilities, unique talents, unique things that we've gone through, things that we've been able to overcome, that we truly want to share with other people. And creating content right now is the best way to do that, because there's always someone who is looking for something that you have. So once you think about it like that, regardless of whatever you're doing, what business that you have, once you think about it as you trying to really help others with that unique ability that you have, you trying to create an impact on others, you really trying to help people be better at this particular thing, because you always find an audience for that thing. And once you approach it like that and you're thinking about this other people, not always about yourself. Yes, we want to make sales. That's the reason we have a business. But once you approach it as giving an impact, leaving an impact first, trying to help others first, it becomes a whole different ballgame. Because even the way you write, it's just so different, because from that experience that you have, from what you know, you approach it as really trying to help others get better. So it's a whole different ball game as you when you write. And it's just it's just natural that people are going to react to that in a different way, because they can feel your tone. Once you're
Yeah.
writing, they can feel the authenticity from your writing, from your words. So once
Yeah.
you're approaching it like that, it's just so different. And I know this from experience.
Yeah. I think you touched on a couple of things I think that are really important when it comes to content creation. One is that so many people, and I'm not talking about content creators specifically, but if you say everyone is a content creator if they're creating any kind of content, right? Entrepreneurs, small business owners feel that imposter syndrome. Like,
Yeah.
how can I compete? What I have to say is no different what anyone else says. It's not, I don't say it as well as the next
Yeah.
and says it. And what you're saying right now is to recognize the impact that you have and continue to
Absolutely.
put it out in content. And that's how you're going to be able to overcome that imposter syndrome
Mhm.
and build your confidence. I mean, like in a nutshell,
Absolutely.
that's just what I heard you say, which I
Yes.
love.
Yeah.
That's like one of the new strategies. I mean, not new strategy, but it's like not one that people talk about very often, right?
Yeah.
We talk about,
Yeah.
yes, build your confidence, but I've not ever heard somebody say build your confidence by continuing to put out content.
Yeah.
Continue
Because
to
that's
Yeah.
how I build my confidence. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that is it. As I put out content, I was really able to build my confidence and grow and able to do this, like really talk like this with confidence, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, and it's not because I did something extra, like 100%
Mhm.
God's honest truth. It's just by putting out content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I hadn't thought of it like that. Where, yes,
Right?
you're absolutely right. It has built my confidence since
Yeah.
starting this journey, right? Years ago. Another thing that I did like about the impact driven, like, is just the value based content versus just always sell, 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 sell,
Yeah.
sell. And so, you know, I've had some clients like, well, if I give this away, why would they buy my thing? And I'm like, but you're not giving it all away. You're sharing some of the value because people want to do a tiny little test drive sometimes
Yep.
of the person they're investing in or the product there, you know?
That is
So
true.
I think like the part for me with when reading this part, I was like, I loved how you had said that in your article, how
Yeah.
the value sometimes will bring the sale, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and just believing in that. And so, yeah, you guys, if you look at yourself in your business, do you feel that you are impact driven creating of your content? Or do you feel like you're like, when you look at it, honestly, does it just, are you just sell, sell, sell? Like, do you know what I mean? And
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
And just add this one point. And once you start approaching it as you leaving an impact and you wanting to help others, it's easier for you to be consistent, right? It's easier for you to be consistent. You really do not attach yourself a lot with the results, especially at the start. You don't really attach yourself with the results. You're trying to get that sale or get all of the feedback and all that, because 100% at the start you will not really see that. It's with consistency, with patience, and you really understanding, you test driving, doing it and really seeing what resonates better, right? But once you're impact driven because you really want to leave an impact, that is going to give you the ability to stay consistent and to remain patient, right? Because you, at the back of your mind, you just really want to help people, right? Because you know the value that you have and you understand the value that you can actually give other people.
I'm loving this like line,
Right.
you know, it's like this all connected, interweaving like
Exactly.
thing that
Yes.
you've built now, this framework that you've built that, you know, starts with being consistent and then how that creates impact and
Yes.
improves your own personal value for yourself. And now, and then that's funneling down now into sales, which
Yes.
I'm going to just ask our third question because we're kind of already starting to talk about it right now. And so I want to ask our third question so we can move on to it. But so I wanted to pull up this screen really quick, which is your LinkedIn newsletter here. And so this is her LinkedIn newsletter. If I scroll all the way down to the bottom, it comes with our impact before sales. And this is what you're talking about right now.
Yeah.
And I love this first line that I'm going to pop up there. If your only reason for creating content is to make sales, then you'll hardly ever make a sale.
Yeah.
So my question here for you today, Laura, is can you explain kind of that strategy behind this? And you kind of already been talking about it a little bit, but what's that strategy behind making a sale? Anyway, you know what I'm asking.
I understand.
Impact before sales. There we go.
So if you are impact driven, like I said, if you're impact driven, you connect better with people. Sales right now, marketing is about connecting with people, right? Nobody wants to receive a sales DM. Like nobody loves that. You don't like that. I mean, If you like it, well, good for you. But a lot of people really, really do not love receiving
No.
this sales DMs, telling people, oh, I checked this out. I think I can help you with your business and all that good stuff, right? But if you focus on leaving an impact, on providing impact, if you're impact driven, that connects with people, right? You do not have to struggle to connect with people. Again, we do not want, we're not building businesses to burn out, to struggle. No, it's attraction marketing, right? As you're creating an impact, you're connecting better with people because they feel like you understand them, right? They feel like you understand them. And once you're putting out content like that that leaves an impact that people can connect with, they are more open to even you sending them a DM and to asking questions, right? They're more open to asking you more questions because sometimes people feel like if I ask a question, they'll think like, oh, I need help. I want to buy the program or something. But once you're impact driven, people are open to asking questions. And once
Right.
you ask questions, then that's an opportunity for you to dig more, ask them what they're struggling with, ask them what it is that they're really looking for.
Yeah.
And then, of course, if they are interested, you can go ahead and tell them, of course, you can definitely get on a call with me. I'll be more than happy to really hear more about your struggle and how I can help. They are then open to that because they are the one that approached you, right? They have this question. You did not
Yeah.
approach them and
Right.
they're like, oh, I need get on a call with me so I can
Right.
sell you my stuff, right?
Yeah.
They're open they're more relaxed and more willing and more happy to ask you questions because they feel like you understand them. It's someone just reading your content and be like, oh my goodness, that actually makes so much sense. But
Oh,
how
yeah.
do you actually do this in order to do this, right?
Mhm.
So that really opens a lot of conversations. And also, even when you at that point you're like, okay, you put a call to action and tell them, if you're struggling with this, go ahead and schedule a call with me, because they can connect with you. They are more open to actually scheduling a call with you, to actually
Yeah.
really learning more about what it is that you have to offer, even if they're not ready to buy, but they are open to talking to you more, to really learn more about it, to see if they can maybe save up some more to invest, or to be like, maybe next time, just to know more about your program or about your services or about your product, whatever that is, right? They're more open to talking to you because it's this conversation that builds,
Yes.
right? So the
And
more
Laura,
the more conversations you have.
yes. I
Yeah.
feel like the strategy that you're discussing is like you're creating your own low-hanging fruit.
Yeah.
You know that, like in business, right? You've planted this tree and you're patiently waiting for all of that to come down,
Yeah.
and then you make it easy, right? And like
Yeah.
you said the word patience, right? Sometimes it's a
Exactly.
little bit of a long game, but when that fruit is ready,
When it's ready, it takes off like this.
yes,
Yeah,
right?
like it takes off.
Your basket is full.
Yes.
You're
Yes.
like, oh my gosh, I gotta make so many pies and jams
Yes.
and all the
Absolutely.
things, right? So, whew, that gave me some
Yeah.
gave me some chicken skin right there. Like, you know what I mean? So, anyway,
I have
Yeah.
one quick follow-up question. So we talk about, you continue to answer these questions and generate this confidence and authority, but there is a point where you do have to kind of draw that line between, I'm giving away too much of my information. Now's when you need to hire me.
Yeah.
And at that, and what is then, like, talk to me a little bit about your process there. Like, at what point do you say, okay, now you need to hire me, and then turn it in from the advice giving into the actual sale as a small business owner? Because
Yeah.
I mean, clearly you have to at
Oh,
some point
absolutely. You still have to make sales in your business because
Yeah.
it still is a business.
Right.
No, absolutely. So if someone approaches you, and because there'll always be those people who just want free advice, that's something that we cannot avoid, right? But again, like you said, you have to have that boundary. So if someone is asking you more detailed questions about your offer, there's certain times that you can say, yeah, absolutely, I talked about this in this particular post. You can direct them to a particular content that you wrote, and I tell them, if you have more questions about that, definitely reach out back to me. There's some there are times you that can really help you understand the people who are more interested in really working with you, or more interested in just getting free advice. right? So you really have to try to figure that out depending on the people that you're communicating with. But again, once someone approaches you and they're asking more questions, it's for you to follow up with questions, right? If they're asking you, it's not just about giving them answers, but it's about you really following up with more questions to really understand what it is that they are struggling with. So it's not just, okay, so how do I know this, or how do I do this, right? It's about, okay, why do you want to do this? With, have you done it before? What have you done with regards to this that hasn't really worked? And then once you really start learning the answers, and once you hear the answers, then you're like, okay, this is what I really help my clients with, and I'll really be more than happy to help you with this. So how about we get on a call, so we can discuss this more? But it's not, I'm not all about you just tell them, oh yes, do this first and then do this. That's gonna take like all day, because you can't really tell someone what to do to get results.
Right.
No, you can't do that.
And you just gave us yet another benefit of having consistent content creation, which is you can refer back to content you've already created and say, I answered this question in this post. Here's a link to it. Read it. It should help you out. And to be able to then direct them to something you've already done, still give them value, but not be like handing them your entire business on a platter.
Exactly. And if you have maybe a free resource that has the answer, you're going to give it to them for them to get to your email list, onto your email list, so you can continue nurturing those people to the point where they're ready to purchase from you. So
I know we're right at the end of our show, but before we go, I want to pull up this comment here. Value-based is hard to judge since the demographic of your followers is so varied. How do you determine which subset to focus your efforts on? So he's talking about your value impact driven content.
Yeah, that is going to depend on the people that you're best able to serve. You're going to focus on the people that you're best able to serve, because you cannot serve everybody. And by now, this is something that everybody says, everybody knows, but they don't do, right? Like focus on the particular audience. Don't talk to everybody, talk to everyone. Everyone says it, everyone knows that phrase, but a lot of people just don't do it. Right? But it is the best way for you to get better results. You cannot serve all of your audience. Probably you have a different, like you said, different demographics right now of followers, which you cannot really serve all of them. So you really have to understand the people that you can serve, the people that you want to serve, and focus on those people. So you will have to do like that research to really understand the people that really fit better with the services that you provide. How you can really step in as a guide to help this particular people get to the results, because you forget about serving all of them, because you cannot serve all of them.
That's
a particular group.
That's so true, because that's part of the funneling process too, right, Laura? Great question, John. Love it.
It was a good question.
Okay, look, we could talk all day with Laura. I think we've just discovered this. Like me and Anna could ask Laura a zillion questions, and I think we'd love like Anna mentioned, we'd love collaborating with other content creators, because there's so many, anyway. So we know you'll probably absolutely want to continue to follow Laura. So we're going to have Laura tell you where you can follow her, where you can find her outside of this show.
Yes, so you can connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm mostly on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is my platform. Also on Instagram and on YouTube. So those are the three places you can really connect with me. If you go to LinkedIn right now, you will see also you find a free resource in my featured section, so you can get that on the 4-step guide on how to create highly converting content. I think you guys have the link. How to create highly converting content. Yeah, so once you go to LinkedIn, you're going to see that too, but you can connect with me on LinkedIn, Instagram, mostly LinkedIn. I'm always on LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube.
LinkedIn is the place. I'm telling you, it's not just to find a job. It's really to connect and be with others, right, Laura?
Absolutely.
Okay. One of our favorite things is we love to provide a toolkit. And one of the things when we were researching our guests, as we always do, so we can kind of come up with stuff, is anybody know that you can create a LinkedIn newsletter?
Yep.
I didn't until I read Laura's thing. So this is the toolkit, because I'm going to let Laura talk about it real fast. But you can have people subscribe to your newsletter, right? Which is a great way to kind of gain an audience, to kind of like talk about your expertise, to gain the raving fan, to gain the, and Laura put out her first article, and as of this morning, when I looked at it, she has 900 subscribers to her newsletter. So amazing, that is right? Amazing. I mean, the type of reach you can get. So when you push the content out, they get noticed. So Laura, like, how did you know this is what you wanted? Like, tell me, but I didn't even know this existed.
So with LinkedIn newsletters, at first it was articles. I mean, I think you can still write an article on LinkedIn, but newsletters is something that just came up a couple of months ago. So I had just been keeping that at the side. I'm like, okay, once I know that I can be consistent with this, then I am going to start with the newsletters, right? So it is an amazing opportunity for you to create like a more rich content, for you to like elaborate on your content pieces. And the beauty about content creation is you can always repurpose. And this is something that, like we're talking right now, this talk is from this newsletter. It's repurposing content, right? So with this newsletter, I just went to some of my content pieces. I'm like, okay, what do I want to share with my first newsletter? Because that was a debate. What am I really going to share that's going to connect with people to make sure that they actually subscribe to my newsletter? I'm like, okay, I'm just going to really share what I have learned as a content creator, but I want to kind of take people in a journey with me, right? I just don't want to say, okay, these are my 4 tips I've learned, blah blah blah. I want it to be different. I want to take you through a journey, through my journey, right? So that's why it's called the Diary of a Content Creator. So that is the approach that I am using with my LinkedIn newsletter. That's what I thought it would be best. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to start monthly newsletters, and because that's what I can do right now. So again, you have to start with what you are capable of doing. So I did my first newsletter, I think 2 or 3 weeks. That was the 11th of March, about 3 weeks ago. And I was like, oh God, please, let me just have 300 followers, or 300 subscribers. And then boom, right now I have about 900. I received so much great review on this, and I was really shocked, and I was like so grateful. But again, it's just me kind of telling my story with this newsletter and giving you tips that you can really use in order to create better content and connect better with your own audience.
You provided value.
I
provided value.
I feel like this newsletter is like the culmination of all these things you've talked about today put into practice. Where you had this patient, long game of building value-based content, and so when you start doing a newsletter, I mean, I know I subscribe to it, right? I'm one of your 900 followers here. Because once a month getting something about you, what you have to say, is important to me. I know I'm going to get something of value from you, and I feel like that's just like the culmination of everything we talked about today.
Absolutely. So newsletters, I would advise, if you are on LinkedIn, if you want to start with LinkedIn, I wouldn't advise for you to start with newsletters. No, just start putting out content and start building your own brand awareness on LinkedIn, and then you can get to the newsletters part maybe later, once you've really understood the platform very well. Because like I said, it's more rich content where you can really go deep, because people will subscribe are people who really take the time to go through and read through and be like, okay, this person. And it'll be most of the time with people who kind of know you already, right? So you can just hold on that on the newsletter and really start putting out content on LinkedIn, building your brand, and then you can get to that point when you are ready to really be consistent with that feature.
And just as a housekeeping note, you do have to have a LinkedIn creator profile to do the newsletter. So if you're not a creator profile, you won't be able to create a newsletter, but you can still write articles. I mean, even as a creator, you can write articles, or you can turn that article into a newsletter.
Right. And I believe anybody can turn on. You just got to click the button that says you want to go into creator mode. So you just toggle the button and take the next step, right, Laura? Like,
that is
gain that confidence. Oh my gosh. Okay. Thank you. So you guys go to LinkedIn. The link was provided in all the spaces that we're in. Go join her newsletter, read the article. There's everything, her lead magnet, everything is there on LinkedIn for you to grab. So you can't there's no excuse.
No excuse.
None. Zero.
That's right.
So, all right. Well, Anna, I'm going to just let you kind of share share
quick jar?
Caitlin's thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so Caitlin Eldridge, our resident CPA who provides a financial tip for all of our guests each week. She says, consider short-term disability insurance. Yes, even as an entrepreneur or small business owner, because it helps if you get ill or injured and cannot work, but still need your income. So protect yourself as an entrepreneur, small business owner. These things still happen, and not receiving any income is not fun, right?
Yeah.
Not something you want to have happen.
Not fun at all. Not fun at all. All right, you guys, we're at the end of the show. Anna, I'll let you slide us out and do your thing here.
Okay, so we just want to say thank you to everyone who joined us today live and if you're coming in on the replay, thanks for listening, and send us a note, send us a message. Tell us your favorite thing you learned from Laura today. Because I know I picked up like 4 or 5 really good like truth nuggets that I'm excited to kind of just like, I'm going to jot them down in my thought journal, right? And just be like, I learned these, not learned so much as just reminded myself of these important concepts today. Next week, we are looking at having Shannon Lohr on, and she's going to be talking about crowdfunding for business, small business, and entrepreneurial success. So if it's not something you've considered, we highly recommend just jumping on and listening in on what crowdfunding might be able to do for you on service and product-based businesses. And then, as always, you can find us on any of your favorite podcast platforms. All of our live streams are turned into podcasts. You can find us at our brand new website, AnnaandSelena.com. Go there and visit it because it's so beautiful and I love it. Now I can get some feedback for it. Instagram or Facebook and YouTube. So thank you so much for joining us here today. Laura, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
We loved having you. And I cannot wait to see next month's article because you do totally provide value.
Thank you.
This is a great way to like start my Tuesday for sure. Right? You know,
I agree.
So, all right, everybody. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week. Thanks, Laura. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.